I was triggering some broads over on TikTok last week, and a few of them will run into the conversation and talk about, oh, I am married, so listen to me. I am married, so I know what I'm talking about. Mona D, big up yourself, big up yourself. A lot of these broads will come in and be like, I'm married, so listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I got a ring. And I will be like, oh, okay, so what's the dynamic like? Do you submit to your husband? Do you obey your husband? And they're like, obey. Y'all know the Soldier Boy when Soldier Boy was like, drag? They're like, obey.
No, 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 no.
So I would say, oh, what's the dynamic like? Do you serve your husband? And they're like,
In
sir?
my life, I had to fight.
And you already know what kind of husband they're rocking with. I mean, no disrespect to anybody's marriage, but I believe in calling a spade over here, right? You already know the kind of husband they be rocking with. I mean, let's just keep it real. Right? Bria said they're in these marriages being a headache because if a stranger on the internet, you gonna come on my TikTok page to tell me that I should listen to you because you are a wife, and I ask you, oh, so you serve and do you serve and obey your husband, and you gonna look at me as if I asked you to give me your firstborn child, right? You looking at me as if I said, name your first child, Chantel Simone, right? Then why would I take guidance from you? Why would I take advice from you when you get triggered at the thought of serving? Let us even put obey to the side, y'all. Let us put obey one side, because I can understand why someone who is very limited in their mindset, limited in their thought process, will get triggered over the term obey, right? So, and not everybody, let's call a spade, right? The 77 of us who are in here right now, not everybody on the same page with us. We already know we are the outliers, right? We already know we the pick me's, and we the dusty, and we the broke men. Shout out to Jonathan Barronville when he would say broke and dusty, right? You already know we're not mixing in their crew. So to use the term obey, to use the term submit, it is triggering to them. So let us put that to the side. But when you use the word like serve, you have a full-blown husband and you get triggered because I asked you if you serve your husband. I am a pick me because I asked you if you serve your husband. Some of them would say yes, they serve their husband, but they cannot help but to include the disclaimer that he serves them too. Y'all, we're diving into a different topic that we're supposed to be diving into today, and we're gonna get back to the topic that we're supposed to be talking about today. But sidebar, right? Y'all ever notice that these supposedly married women, these women who you're supposed to be listening to because they got the ring, y'all ever notice when you ask them, oh, do you serve your husband? They have to be like, oh, well, because he serves me too. It's almost as if, y'all hear me out, because we're getting deep with this one. We're taking this one to another level. It's almost as if a lot of these women are like, I am not going to do anything for a man unless he does something for me first. And then I'm going to do something for him. Y'all know how selfish that is? As a woman, if our job is to be a helpmate, right? If our job is to support our man, and we are going to say we aren't going to do something for our man. We're talking about their husband now, you know. I'm not talking about the dusty baby daddy that they got. I'm talking about their husband, the man who actually put a ring on their long titty finger. Oopsie, as we starting today. Y'all remember when they used to say like, oh, Chantel, start off the stream and then Shan will come in. Notice I'll be doing that no more. Game changer, big up yourself. I see you in here. Skinny boy, 20 boy, big up yourself too. I see you in here. Shout out to all of y'all. Future King, big up yourself. How selfish that is as a woman. Oh, how out of order is that? Shout out to Miss Gonzel. Am I saying her name right? Oh my gosh, you remember the time when she was in my chat and I was butchering her name? Like I was chopping some cow tongue. What's her name? Iyanla? If y'all were in here, drop a one in the chat. If y'all were in here when Iyanla Von Zent was in my chat, and I was just, I was messing up her name. She talks about us black women being out of order. Notice how out of order. I see the ones in the chat. Y'all, it was embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. She talks about how out of order we are as black women, right? And it's out of order because we say things like, I'm not going to serve my man unless he serves me first. I'm not going to cater to a man. I'm not going to obey a man unless he obeys me first. And it's like, but God created us to be this man's helpmate, right? You show up to a job, you show up to a position and say, well, let me keep my foot up because I'm not going to work until y'all pay me first? Or do y'all work and then at the end of the 2 weeks you get paid? We can understand that concept. We can understand signing up for a job and working for 2 whole weeks before we see a paycheck. And many times when we get a job, the first paycheck we get is for 1 week of pay that we did. Why? Because a lot of companies, you have to work for the full 2 weeks, and then the week after the full 2 weeks you get paid. So a lot of time when you start a new job, you work 2 full weeks, and the first paycheck is one. The first paycheck you get is for one. So we can understand the concept when it comes to working, that we are going to put in the work and then we're going to reap the reward in the end. When it comes to going to school and getting our education, because shout out to Kevin Samuels, shout out to my PhDs in the building, right? We can understand the concept of grinding, working, studying, doing internship, doing everything we need to do before we get the credentials, before we get the MD on our name, or the MBA or the PhD or whatever we get on our names, right? But it's so funny that when it comes to catering to a man, serving a man, we have all these demands. A man have to do XYZ first before we can obey him, before we can serve him. Again, we're talking about their own husband. We're not talking about their dusty baby daddy. We're not talking about the bums that they love to attract. We're talking about their husband.